Peace, family. So I'm back with another one. Today what I want to do is I want to talk to my chosen ones about how energy is transferable through touching, you know what I'm saying? And what brought me to this subject today was just kind of diving in on as far as like different aspects of the spiritual realm, as far as how we are affected, how I get affected, tactics that was used against me, you know, and tactics that we kind of learn young, that we already understand that if you can touch people to heal them and to make them feel better and to send them positive high vibrations, you can touch people and send them negative vibrations. You can send them low frequencies, you know what I'm saying? You can touch them and cause them harm. So we have to understand these things, you know what I'm saying? So like I always have like a grounding or a blueprint or a starting point for everything, as far as like when it comes to like big points. And as far as like this subject right now, like we can think as far as even the kids, like what happens when, you know, your little one falls and hurts themselves, or what happens if they do something else, you know what I mean? Like if they have like some kind of injury going on with them, and what's the first thing you normally tend to do? You know, they come running to you, you hug them, you kiss their boo-boos, you know, they scrapes, they scars, whatever it is, you know? So we understand this on a much deeper level than we portray, because society is, the matrix wants everybody to be dumb. So if you seem intelligent, or if you seem to follow intuition or your spiritual flow, you know what I'm saying, it's a little bit too much. But for me, I understand, like when my daughter falls and she hurts herself, or she cuts herself, or she knocks herself up against something and she needs my energy, she don't just come stand beside me. She usually comes snuggle up underneath me, like it hurts, like whatever it is. She want to give me her hand, she want to give me her foot, she want to give me her leg, you know what I mean? If it's her forehead, if she bumps something, it's like, oh, can you touch it, or can you kiss it, daddy, to make it feel better? So we all understand that these are tactics and these are things that actually do work. When you go to funerals, people give out lots of hugs. It's a lot of warmth being passed around, you know, whether it's which motherfuckers passing that shit or not. They're trying to simulate the warmth, you know what I mean? But we understand that energy is transferable through touch. We know these things. It's showed in movies, you know, we see it simulated in real lifetime with our own friends and family and the ones that surround us. So why would it be hard to understand that people can touch you and send you negative energy the same way? Like, it's not too difficult for me to understand these things. That's why, like, so an example of, like, you can tell if someone's touching you or trying to do something to simulate or to pass you or give you weird energy, you know. And I'll give like a spouse example, you know. So say you're dealing with somebody and on like an intimate level, or something that's close to an intimate level, right? You may be in a fine mood, or let's say you may not be in the best mood, right? Like your energy is just like kind of stirred. You're just trying to get your energy together. You get with this person, you're in the same space as this being right here. But you're trying to tell this person you're not really feeling it right now. You just want to kind of get your energy together. You know what I'm saying? You have your ways of wording it. I'm just speaking as in this manner right now, right? So you may be driving or sitting in the house on the couch or something, just trying to get your energy together, right? And here comes this other being touching you. When you feel that weird sensation, like it could be just a touch on the shoulder, touch on the arm. I'm not talking about like touch on private areas, sacral areas, none of that shit, right? But when you feel that touch, you feel the energy transfer. Like that's where I get confused at when people do these things. So like I had situations in my past where like me and my BMO like not be on the greatest terms, right? And she'll come over and like it'll be this thing where it's like I could tell it's manipulative, trying to be funny. You know, it's like I'm trying to be in my own space, but that's when they come over and they want to start touching and hugging and doing all this other shit to kind of get a feel and scramble your energy up, you know? Because what happens is your sensories is telling you that something is off within the inside, you know? But naturally, your body wants to be hugged, it wants to be touched. You want to be welcomed, you want to be needed, you know what I'm saying? So, but during those times, you could tell that that's not what it is, and you usually want them to get the fuck off. You get away from me. You don't want them touching. You don't want them holding your hands. I don't want you playing footsies with me. You usually don't want them doing any of the above when you're in that space. Sometimes we just don't want to be bothered, right? And we just shoot people off. But right now, I'm speaking as far as like when you're not in in one of those spaces and the beings touch you and you can kind of feel their energy flowing, you know, whether they is somebody who has a lot of fear. I don't like using anxiety, just somebody who's extremely fearful, or somebody who's extremely fearful and evil at the same time, you know what I'm saying? And I just say evil because it's another entity in there. It just moves them over to the side, you know? So not that being per se, but the other entity that's in that vessel is motherfucking evil. That's why they do and maneuver the way they do, you know? I say that all the time. So when I got to this space of understanding how important it was to like not allow people to touch me or do certain things when the energy is not flowing together, I should say. Because it's been some times where I have went and picked up people and they just, you know, went to touch me on my arm or my leg because I'm driving or something, you know, and it was just like, I could feel it. And my body get a little cringy. It's just like, get the fuck off me. Like, I don't, my natural instincts is, I would say, I don't want to be touched, but of course my spirit cannot be touched. It's the vessel, but I'm usually thinking like, God, this feels weird. It always is a weird sensation because you have your sensories going on. It's the same thing as when you are touched and it feels good. That's what we have to understand. You don't always get touched and it always feels good all the time. When somebody rubs your back, it doesn't always feel good. Sometimes you can feel the manipulation. You could feel that you don't really mean this rub. You're not really trying to send me your best vibration when you over here rubbing my back. You know, you can kind of tell these things. And for me, I'm always aware of all of these little tactics that go on because I know if we're aware of them on when it's good intentions and things flowing not to cause the harm, then we should be aware of it when it's the opposite side too. If it's a war going on out here, then we kind of got to know what's going on. You know what I'm saying? We got to know the tactics. You have to know who the opposition is. If you know the tactics, then you can kind of pin them to the opposition. You know, because you're not always going to know sometimes when you just meet somebody if they are. But if they're displaying signs of these tactics right here, then you already know where they got their playbook from. You know, if you get an argument with somebody and then the first thing they want to do is try to like touch you and soothe you and keep talking to you, that's a form of manipulation. That's a play out of their book. That is a play out of their book. You know what I'm saying? Because sometimes for some of us out here, it gets your energy in motion with your sacral chakra. So even if you good in that area or you not good in that area, some people feel the energy flow from there. That's one of our most like powerful energy source spaces. Not saying that it puts you in a sexual mood, but you will feel that vibration through your body from your legs to your feet to your arms all the way up. You know what I'm saying? So for me, that's why I always kind of like, if the intentions or something feels off and weird, I can chill and vibe with you know what I'm saying, because that's the way the matrix is set up. But as far as like the touching and all of that stuff, is, you know, it's kept to an extreme low minimum. You know, even as far as when I meet dudes out in the street or bump into old associates or something, you know what I'm saying? Some of them, you know, they just gonna get the pound. You know, I don't even give them a whole high five. Some of them might just get the air. You know what I'm saying? I give you an air pump. Like, we don't have to be touching and doing all that shit if we all ain't working the flow in the same direction. You know what I'm saying? I don't care for dapping you up because of acknowledgement, because our spirits are familiar with each other. Like, I don't give a fuck about that shit no more. I ain't in high school, so none of that shit has any validity to me. So, and not like it has to for me to do it, but I'm just making that statement because I can't. You know what I'm saying? So that's what we do. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you following the natural flow of things and you out here operating and you're not doing things with ill intentions, like, and you know you not deep within, because a lot of motherfuckers is with you and they not gonna believe you, and it's not gonna be your job to convince them. Because trust me, you're gonna bury yourself in this dirt trying to convince them. It is not going to be good. You know what I'm saying? So just be mindful. Like, people can send you illness and bad energy, low frequencies through touch. The same way we touch and heal people, babies, friends, families, spouses, partners, animals, whatever you want to call it and name it. You know what I'm saying? I know sometimes shit seems far out to people because we got so implanted in this 3D realm right here, but sometimes you got to be able to go to infinity and beyond. You know what I'm saying? Especially if you want to be able to have a higher percentage of peace in your inner space, because you're not always going to be at peace. I look at everything as on a scale. So if my day consists of 24 hours, I'll just use their fucking time. If it consists of 24 hours, I want those 24 hours, I want at least 75% to 80% to be peaceful. I already know what's up with the other 25% that's going to be unpeaceful. And if I have a day that's my peace is a lot lower on, like, oh, I'm only 45% peaceful today, you know what I'm saying? It's just been so many attacks and all these other things going on. I'm aware of that. You know what I'm saying? We should be aware of that. There's no peaceful state that you just sit in and it's like, oh, okay, this is it forever. Most of this shit is gonna have to have that perception of a percentage scale. A percentage scale, you know what I'm saying? But I ain't want to run it up too long, you know what I'm saying? We healing with these hands and you harming and hurting with these hands too. You know what I'm saying? Tapping everything down below. Peace and love to the kings and queens.